So, one of the biggest things that I've had to learn in my career as a designer isn't necessarily learning all of the features in Adobe Illustrator or learning all these crazy skills that are just going to beef up my resume. It's really been learning about how to talk about design and its value, especially to non creative people. Now, when I say non creative people, I don't mean that there's people out there who aren't creative. I actually truly believe that everyone is creative in their own way. But what I really mean is people who designers interact with on a daily basis who maybe aren't in the creative department. These are people like account managers, project managers, clients, board members, people who maybe care beyond just the aesthetics of design and are more focused on the results. Going into these spaces and just talking about how cool my design was and all the cool things it was inspired by and all the pretty colors that I picked, I learned really quickly that that was not going to work. These people needed to understand why it mattered and actually be convinced. Especially as I started running KBCS and really working directly with these business owners and entrepreneurs, they really care deeply about everything that they've built. They've put in the time, the thought, the money, the detail. And when it comes to investing in branding, they don't just want something that looks good or something that's trendy. They want something that actually reflects what they've created. They need something that's going to bring in the right clients, build recognition, something that really works, not just a pretty logo. So I had to get better at reframing my answers and getting clear about what design actually does for a business. When we're designing a brand, what we're actually doing is helping a business show up in the world in a way that really connects with their audience, with their values, with where they're trying to go. And that kind of design isn't surface level. It involves research, it involves strategy. It's really layered, and there's a lot of storytelling that's usually involved. So in this video, we're going to unpack some of that, and we're going to take a look at what design actually does behind the scenes when it's done well. Design helps people process information. Good design shouldn't just make things look prettier, it should help make things easier to understand. When someone first interacts with your brand, whether it's your website, whether it's a menu or packaging, they're trying to process all of that information very quickly. And that's where layout, spacing, hierarchy, all these design fundamentals really come into play. Design kind of acts like a bit of a translator. It takes what a business is trying to say and it presents it in a way that's clear, that's easy to consume, that isn't overwhelming or cause any kind of confusion. A clear hierarchy is going to let people know what to look at first. Spacing is going to create breathing room. Balance is going to keep the eye from bouncing around in a composition. All of these things are working together to help your audience make sense of what it is that you're offering. Think of a restaurant menu, for example. Two places can offer the same thing, but one restaurant menu is maybe a little cluttered, a little disorganized. It can be a little bit messy and just be a lot for the brain to take in. It's working really hard to try to process all of this information. It can feel very messy and almost off-putting. Compare that to a menu that maybe has a layout that has a clean design. All of the sections are nicely labeled. The typography, it's intentional. That experience is creating ease, it's creating clarity. It doesn't have to be boring. It can still be creative and it can still look cool, but it serves a functional purpose as well. This is relevant for every single touch point of a brand. When design functions well, it helps your audience understand you faster, and it makes it more likely that they're going to move forward with your brand or your product or your services. Design shapes perception. Visual design affects how someone feels about a brand almost instantly. Every element, typography, color, photography, they all work together to communicate a specific tone. It sets the vibe, it triggers associations, and it lets the audience know what the brand personality is like before they even really understand your product. For example, with color, research shows that 90% of people will make snap judgments just based off of color alone. Color influences perception of quality, of price, of service, of even taste. We know that blues can often evoke trust and that warm neutrals can often feel very calming and relaxing. Reds and yellows can increase appetite and build excitement. That's why they're so popular with food brands. Typography is going to do a lot of the same things. Like a sans serif can feel very modern and stylish versus a serif typeface that maybe feels a little bit more traditional, a little bit more elegant and upscale. Hand-drawn fonts or rounded fonts, those are going to feel a little bit more playful, a little bit more energetic, maybe even a little bit more artisanal. These are all creative tools that, when used properly and used intentionally, they can all work together to create a feeling that really aligns with your audience audience's expectations and desires. That's why these design decisions carry so much more weight than a lot of people assume. Design builds systems that scale. Consistency is important in branding because it really helps build trust, reinforce recognition, and really helps your audience remember you. But strategic design goes beyond this, beyond the consistency. It really helps build structure so that it can support scale. When we build a brand identity at KBCS, we're building beyond just the creative. We're designing rules, we're establishing systems, we're creating a foundation so that future collaborators like designers, marketers, other team members can help keep your brand strong and consistent and aligned as it continues to grow. So that includes things like usage guidelines, how to combine colors in your brand palette, how to establish hierarchy with typography, how to use the brand assets so that they all work together to create the visuals that feel aligned and consistent with your brand. These pieces all might seem small on their own, but together they work together to kind of make your brand stronger, to make it more recognizable, and make it more repeatable on various mediums or platforms. When you have a brand system in place, you save time, you make creative decisions faster, you execute faster, and your visuals don't lose impact as you continue to grow. And this means that whether you have a new offer or you're bringing on a new team member, you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. You're building from a foundation that sets you up for the long run. Design carries meaning. In a world full of brands that are chasing aesthetics and trends, one of the most strategic things that a business can do is be very specific. And that's where branding can be really powerful, where it carries details that are very personal and unique to you. The way that we choose color, texture, typography, it all becomes more impactful when it's rooted in your story and what truly matters to you and your audience. For example, pulling colors that remind you of a special place that has a lot of meaning, or incorporating textures that connect with your culture. These details might be subtle, but they will resonate with the right people. And ultimately, they're choices that create differentiation that competitors can't replicate. That's what makes people talk about you. That's what sticks, and that's what makes people remember you. So the next time that you think about design, I hope that you consider beyond just the looks and also start to take in how it works, how it guides audiences, clarifies information, and how it really connects people to brands. When done well, design makes everything in your brand stronger, from how you show up to how people respond. That wraps up this video. If you like what you see, hit subscribe to catch more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.